The skills of a coach can be put into different orders depending on the sport of that coach. For example, the English Dev rugby coach, Sean Fletcher, will have to put communication first due to the lack of hearing from the players. So he will have to use more body language and hand gestures over his words so the players and participants can know what he's saying. Secondly, will be time management. He will have to manage his time effectively because some players may need more time to listen to what he has to say and may need more time to learn it because of their disabilities. And lastly, he will have organisation because he will not need to organise the participants' matches and fixtures. He will just have to organise the sessions. Next, we have Mark McCall, the Rugby Saracens team coach. He will firstly have to organise their training schedules and matches because he is a manager and coach. Secondly, communication, because he will have to communicate with other people to organise the matches and everyone within the team. And lastly, he will have time management because he will need to manage the timings of matches, but he will not have to plan the sessions in detail, as that will be the top coach's job. And lastly, we have Sheila Burridge, who is a hockey coach at college. Her first skill would be time management because she needs to effectively plan her sessions, allowing the players to develop their skills effectively in time for the matches that she has organised. Secondly, will be communication. She will need effective communication as there will be a range of learning skills and styles needed within the group. Therefore, hand gestures and talking may improve her communication. And lastly will be her organisation, because she will only need to organise her training sessions and the matches will be organised by herself and in coordination with the other team manager. Next, we have the qualities of a coach. These consist of knowledge and skills of the sport, knowledge of the laws, and understanding participants' physical and mental needs. Knowing skills of the sport will include knowing the technique, having qualifications, knowing coaching points, recognising and exposing weaknesses of participants, implementing team-based tactics, developing techniques of performers as individuals, and knowing gameplay. The coach must be able to recognise opponents' weaknesses. For example, at half-time, a coach could change tactics depending on the play of the opposition. The coach must implement tactics on both their team strength and in a way to keep them from opponent strengths. The coach must also be able to see, acknowledge and develop skills in order to get the best out of them, therefore helping them to achieve. They would use this because if a team is not performing well by half-time, they may substitute or change a player or the formation to allow the team to go out in the second half with a better chance of performing to an optimum level. They need this to experience the sport, qualifications, working with others, and trial and error. And these can all be developed by the knowledge of the skills and sport can be developed by that. Another quality is knowledge of the laws. This includes health and safety and legislation. Up-to-date knowledge and development of the sport through the national governing bodies, sticking to kit regulations, sticking to regulations of equipment can all aid the knowledge of laws. The coach must know and have an up-to-date knowledge of the laws and regulations for different age groups depending on what they are coaching. They must also adhere to and implement these laws and regulations as well as kit specification and equipment regulations to the team, and this will ensure the team will look the part and they are playing safely at all times, and this will prevent the team from being punished from breaking the laws and rules of the game. They must finally know and understand these laws and adhere to them, and also pass this skill on to the players in the team. If the laws and legislations are not passed on to the team, this can lead to players playing ineffectively and unsafely, leading to disqualification from events, as it may be seen as cheating or unsafe. The effects of the safety players must, because it allows them to know the laws and regulations to stop them from anything that could be dangerous. Also, because they will know all the laws and regulations, they won't do something wrong. They would use this because if they don't know how to play, they aren't going to be very good and they can annoy other players who have been playing for a long time. And the last quality is understanding the participants' physical needs. Understanding different physical needs will relate to injuries, disabilities, and allowing differentiation within sessions. You must be first aid qualified, have safe facilities, comprehensive warm-up and cool-down, safety checks prior to the session and during the session and after the session, training fitness components so physical demand can be met, and aware of any medical conditions of the team. You also need to understand the mental needs to ensure a safe and comfortable environment, fun and enjoyable sessions, and empathetic approach. The coach must be first aid qualified so they can help any players or staff if their medical conditions are affected. Also, the coach will check the facilities that they are using to ensure they are safe for the training session and no one is in danger. Also, they need to make sure physical needs of the athletes are met so they are fit enough to compete in the sport to a good standard. Physical needs is knowing everything about the team, like medical conditions and previous injuries or current injuries. This then allows actions to be taken if needs be. Also making sure the surroundings are safe so players don't get paranoid, therefore perform at a worse level. The mental needs of the participants have to deal with things like anxiety and motivation, and this can also affect their performance. To be able to control their nerves is crucial, therefore knowing if a player has anxiety issues is crucial. Also, if a player is less motivated, encouraging motivation is a factor because the performer is motivated, then they'll put a lot more effort in and they are not less demotivated, therefore enabling the performer to have lots of energy and really hyped up, ready for the game. Understanding mental and physical needs of the participants will allow more progression from each session, as they will be specific to every athlete within the session and allow them to benefit to the best of their ability, therefore reaching their goals, aims and achievements. Next, we move on to characteristics of a coach. There are many characteristics, however very common ones are being patient, approachable and committed. Being patient involves being calm, waiting for others in the team, appreciating personality and knowing your players. This will allow players to perfect a skill. They won't get stressed and experience anxiety when things go wrong. They allow time for recovery, which relaxes the players and the coach to instruct better. It's not good when people are messing around. Being patient as a coach will allow your participants to have more time to perform and not get frustrated when things don't go as planned. Therefore, if you have some learners that take more time to learn, this will not be a problem as you have the patience to work with them and ensure they perfect the skill. A coach can also show their patience by rehearsing skill over and over again until it is perfected by every athlete on the team. It can also be compared to how they're doing it and then have another attempt. Patience is good because the coach is willing to go over the skill with one player until they have perfected it, therefore allowing the team to perform better. It will also prevent stress and anxiety within the team if they cannot progress with a skill because the coach has patience to allow them to develop this over as many sessions as they want. Being approachable as a coach is also a key characteristic. This will allow participants to be able to talk to you about any issues and they'll be confident and comfortable to do so, and this will mean that you do not intimidate them, so they will allow to ask you for advice so they can progress. They will be able to talk to you on a personal level and you'll be able to improve your relationship with every player. As a coach, you must be open and seen to discuss any problems. Other aspects can make you feel approachable, as if you're happy, smiling, good sense of humour, you will feel more welcoming to them. And body language is also a key factor when being approachable. You would like to stand with your hands out of your pockets and open so people feel they can talk to you and not with your arms crossed sat down somewhere. A coach will also use this when players are upset because they can feel and talk to them about their problems, whether it's sport related or personal. Another key characteristic is being committed as a coach. This will show dedication, enthusiasm, and by this you will not miss any sessions and you'll be willing to go further and help the team outside of a normal training session. Positive reinforcement, constant progression, overcome barriers and improving performance is why you need to be committed, as it will allow these to happen within the team. Being committed as a coach, you must show dedication to your performers to pursue and set common goals. As a coach, you use this by turning up on time, organising sessions for everyone to be involved, being there every week with the motivation for the team and encouragement of the team. Also, a good level of consistency is needed so that players can develop this feeling from you and improve their performance. You will also need to be committed to improving the players' skills by allowing progression. Qualities can vary from different situations in sport. For example, knowledge of the skills in sport has very positive effects, like it can improve performance and allow individuals to progress. However, at different levels, you may need more or less of this knowledge. For example, at an elite level, you may need more knowledge about the sport because it needs to be perfected to a high skill level, compared to a novice level where you may just need to know the simple coaching points and technical issues with the skill. So it can be learned very simple to allow progression when moving up the levels. Along with age, at a younger age you may not need to know the technical points of a skill because of the age that participants are, because they may not know the words you are saying or how to do it. Whereas at an older level with teenagers and adults, they may know more about the sport and allow you to talk with more specific language about the skill and perfect it to a high level. This can also vary within sports. And with some sports you may need to know every technical aspect just to compete at a novice level, and with other sports you may need to know not much about that sport for it to be at a novice level. For example, in horse riding, you need to know many technical aspects and coaching points to perform the simplest task, whereas in football, it may be one or two simple coaching points to perform the simplest of tasks. Knowledge of the skills on sports may also vary between team and individual sports. This is maybe because within a team sport there is more than one player performing at a time, and with an individual sport there is only the one performer at one time. Therefore, the team skill may be more complex as there is more than one person involved. Knowing the laws of a game can have its positive effects. These may be that knowing the laws can allow for a safe and fun environment within the sporting session. It can also lead to knowing any progressions that are available within the sport. Knowing the laws may also allow for better kit and equipment because they have to stay up to date. Therefore, you will not be participating in a sport with faulty equipment that is old and rigid. Must finally know that laws can allow for players to improve safely without interrupting anyone's safety. It can also prevent the players from being eliminated from any competition due to a break within the laws or rules of the game. The level at which you compete can affect the laws and rules that you need to know. For example, if you compete at a novice level, for example, if you were to compete on a weekly basis at a club down the road, you will need to know the simplest of rules just to get you through that competition. However, an elite performer will need to know every single rule about drugs, doping, sideline rules, referee rules, and all the final little details of that game to allow them to perform successfully.